You wake to the soft of a morning, the air cool against your skin, but there's a weight in your chest, a subtle tug that wasn't there a decade ago. Each breath feels like a question, a faint hesitation where once there was only rhythm. You notice in the quiet moments, climbing stairs, carrying groceries, or even laughing too hard a friend's story. The world moves as it always has, but your lungs, they're whispering something new. This is the first whisper of COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, a condition that creeps in like fog, settling into the delicate branches of your lungs. Dr. Norman W. Seeds, in his 1936 medical text, described it as a progressive obstruction, a narrowing of the airways, where the breath struggles to find its way. That struggle is yours now, a private conversation between you and your body. You sit at the edge of your bed, palms resting on your knees, and you wonder when it began. Was it the years of city smog, the faint curl of cigarette smoke from your younger days, or something deeper, something no one can quite pin down? The history of COPD stretches back to the 17th century, when physicians like Thomas Willis noted obstructions in the lungs in patients who toiled in dusty trades. Yet even now, scholars debate whether those early descriptions truly capture the disease or merely graze its edges. There's a curious detail from the 1960s, when doctors first linked COPD to cigarette smoke with unshakable evidence, yet some patients swore they'd never touched a cigarette. That mystery lingers, a reminder that your story, like all stories of COPD, is uniquely yours. You're not alone in this. The awareness dawns slowly, like sunlight spilling through a cracked window. You notice the cough that lingers after a cold, the wheeze that hums like a distant radio. Dr. William Osler, the father of modern medicine, wrote in 1892, "The lungs are the bellows of life, and when they falter, the whole body listens." You're listening now, tuning into the signals. Your mind churns, piecing together the fragments. Maybe it was a winter spent in smoky bars, or the factory job where dust hung like a curtain. You start to question, to seek clarity, but doubt creeps in. Could you have known? Could you have stopped it? The truth is, COPD doesn't announce itself with fanfare. It's a slow burn, a thief that steals breath one quiet moment at a time. Yet there's a spark in you, a flicker of resolve. You're not just a passenger in this body. You're the driver. You begin to notice the patterns. How cold air tightens your chest. How a brisk walk leaves you pausing to catch what once came easily. Dr. John Hutchinson, who invented the spirometer in 1846, gave the world a way to measure lung capacity, a tool that now maps your breath's limits. You imagine your lungs as a vast forest, some paths now overgrown, but others still open, waiting for you to tread them. There's power in this awareness, in naming the thing that challenges you. You're not just breathing. You're learning how to breathe again, with intention, with purpose. You stand, feeling the floor beneath your feet, and you take a slow, deliberate breath. It's not perfect, but it's yours. You think about what comes next, not with fear, but with a quiet curiosity. The experts, like Dr. Chelly in his 2004 Gold Guidelines, urge early action. Detect COPD before it defines you. You're starting to understand that this isn't just about lungs. It's about belief, about choosing to face the fog rather than let it swallow you. You open the window, let the morning air rush in, and you feel the first stirrings of fight you didn't know you had in you. This is your story, and you're only at the beginning. The air feels heavier now, doesn't it? You're more aware of it, the way it moves through you, or sometimes how it doesn't. That weight in your chest, that faint whistle when you exhale. It's not just a feeling anymore. It's a signal. You're starting to see the threads of what brought you here, the roots of COPD weaving through your past. Dr. Charles Fletcher, in his groundbreaking 1976 study, put it plainly. The cigarette is the chief culprit, scarring the lungs with every puff. You think back to those moments, the glow of a cigarette in your hand, the haze of a smoky room, or even a year spent breathing city air thick with exhaust. Each inhale carried a cost, one you didn't see until now. It's not just smoke, though. You recall the cold dust from that summer job, the chemical fumes from the factory floor, or even the wood smoke from winters by the fireplace. History tells us COPD was first named in the 1960s, but its causes were suspected long before. In 1814, Dr. Charles Badham described chronic bronchitis in workers exposed to coal dust, linking their labored breathing to their environment. You wonder about the odd cases, like the patient in a 1950 study who developed COPD despite never smoking, a quirk that puzzled doctors. Scholars still argue whether genetics or hidden exposures played a bigger role in those outliers. Your own story feels like a puzzle, too, with pieces you're only now fitting together. You walk to the kitchen, pour a glass of water, and feel the coolness against your lips. Each sip is a reminder to slow down, to pay attention. The clarity comes in waves. COPD isn't just one thing. It's a collision of choices and chance. Dr. Pauls, in the 2001 Global Initiative for Chronic Obstructive Lung Disease, wrote, "The disease progresses silently. Its damage cumulative, often unnoticed until the airways are half closed." You picture your lungs like a city under siege, the airways narrowing like streets choked with debris. But this isn't just about what's been lost. You're starting to see what you can protect, what you can still control. You think about the cigarettes you left behind, maybe years ago, or maybe just last week. Quitting wasn't easy. Your hands still remember the weight of that last pack. But you did it, or you're trying, and that's a victory. The science is clear. Every day without smoke slows the damage. You imagine your lungs, scarred but stubborn, fighting to hold on to every breath. There's a strange detail from the 1980s, when researchers found that even passive smoke, lingering in bars or homes, could tip the scales toward COPD. It makes you think of the places you've been, the air you shared, and how it all adds up. You're standing at a crossroads now, not just looking back, but forward. Clarity isn't just about understanding the cause. It's about owning it. You can't undo the past, but you can shape what's next. You feel the floor beneath your feet, solid and real, and you take a breath, slow and deliberate. It's not perfect, but it's enough for now. Dr. Anthonisson's 1994 study lingers in your mind. Stopping smoking is the single most effective way to halt COPD's march. You're not just fighting a disease. You're rewriting your story, one breath at a time, with a clarity that feels like waking up. You're standing in the morning light, feeling the rhythm of your breath, and there's a fire in you now, a quiet determination. You've seen the roots of COPD, the smoke and dust that carve their marks, but now it's about what you do next. The path forward isn't just about avoiding harm. It's about building strength, about choosing to fight for every breath. Dr. Thomas Petty, a pioneer in lung research, wrote in 1990, "The patient who acts early, who refuses to surrender, can slow the disease's grip." You're that patient now, and the first step is clear. Protect what's left. You think about the cigarettes you've sworn off, the way your hands no longer reach for them. That choice, that discipline, is your first victory. Quitting isn't just a moment. It's a daily promise. You remember the first day without a cigarette, the restlessness, the craving like a tide pulling you back. But you held firm, and each day since has been a brick in a new foundation. History shows us the power of this choice. By the 1970s, studies like those from the British Thoracic Society proved that quitting smoking could have the rate of lung function decline. You picture your lungs, still scarred but no longer under attack, given a chance to rest. There's a curious detail from that era. Some patients who quit reported tasting food more vividly, as if their senses woke up with their lungs. You notice it too, the sharp tang of coffee, the sweetness of an apple. But it's not just about quitting. You think about the air around you, the way it carries dust or pollen or fumes. You've started avoiding the busy street on your walk, choosing a quieter path where the air feels cleaner. Dr. Sonia Buist, in her 2007 work, emphasized environmental exposures are as critical as smoking in COPD's progression. You're learning to guard your lungs like a treasure, to say no to the things that steal your breath. And then there's the flu shot. You got this year, maybe for first time, because you read how a simple virus can spiral into a COPD flare-up. Scholars still debate whether vaccines alone can prevent exacerbations, but the evidence leans hard toward protection. You feel the needles pinch in your memory, a small price for a shield. You're building a new kind of discipline, one that feels like a contract with yourself. Each morning, you open the windows to let fresh air in, you drink water to stay hydrated, You move your body even when it's hard. You're not just avoiding harm, you're chasing health. You think about the miners in 19th century England, their lungs blackened by coal dust, yet some live long lives by working less and resting more. Their story, documented in medical journals of the time, feels like a distant echo of your own. You're not a miner, but you're fighting the same fight against a world that tests your lungs at every turn. You take a step outside, feel the sun on your face, and you breathe in slow and steady. It's not perfect, but it's yours, and you're guarding it with a purpose you didn't know you had. The discipline isn't just in the big choices, quitting protecting. It's in the small ones, too. You're learning to listen to your body, to honor its limits while pushing for more. Dr. Chelly's words from 2004 ring true. The patience was the engine of survival. You feel that engine humming now, steady and strong, carrying you to a future you're ready to claim. You're moving now, not just to the world, but with purpose. Each step a quiet rebellion against the weight in your chest. The morning air brushes your skin, and you focus on your breath. Slow, deliberate, like a tide you're learning to guide. Living with COPD isn't just about avoiding harm. It's about reclaiming what you can, about adapting to a body that's changed but isn't done. Dr. Bartolome Chelly, in his 2004 Gold Guidelines, put it starkly. Breathing exercises and pulmonary rehabilitation can restore function, even when the lungs are scarred. You're starting to understand what that means, not just in theory, but in the way your body feels when you try. You've been practicing pursed lip breathing, a technique as old as the 1950s when Dr. Albert Miller taught patients to exhale slowly, like blowing through a straw. It feels strange at first as careful control, but you notice a difference. Less gasping, more calm. You sit on your porch, lips pursed, and feel the air move out in a steady stream. It's like learning an instrument, each note deliberate, each breath a small victory. History tells us pulmonary rehab began in the 1960s, when doctors realized exercise could strengthen lungs despite damage. You started your own version, short walks, stretching, even lifting light weights. Your muscles remember the effort, and your lungs, though scarred, seem to thank you. There's a curious detail from the 1970s. Some patients using early oxygen therapy reported dreaming more vividly, as if better breathing unlocked their minds. You haven't tried a machine yet, but you're open to it. Imagining a small device humming beside you, a partner in this journey. Scholars still debate whether oxygen therapy extends life or just eases symptoms, but the consensus leans toward comfort, toward giving you back moments you thought were lost. You picture yourself hiking again, maybe not the steep trails of your youth, but a gentle path through park. The thought sparks something, hope maybe, or defiance. You're adapting, not just to the disease, but to a new way of being. You rearrange your days, rest when you need to, move when you can. You've learned to pace yourself, to savor the moments when your breath feels steady. Dr. Richard Casaburi, in a 1991 study, wrote, "The body adapts to limitation with remarkable resilience if given the chance." You're giving it that chance. You've swapped heavy meals for lighter ones, noticing how a full stomach presses against your lungs. You drink water like it's a ritual, keeping your airways clear. Each choice is an action, a stitch in the fabric of a life you're rebuilding. You stand at the edge of your garden, hands on your hips, and take a slow breath. The flowers nod in the breeze, their colors sharp against the green. You're not just surviving, you're learning to thrive within your limits. The world feels different now, not smaller but more precious. You're not running from COPD. You're dancing with it, step by careful step. The machine, the exercises, the mindful breaths, they're tools, not burdens. You feel the ground beneath you, solid and sure, and you know you're not just adapting. You're rewriting what it means to live. You're in the kitchen now. Sunlight spilling across the counter, a bowl of fresh fruit in front of you. The act of slicing an orange feels deliberate. Each cut a small choice toward health. You're learning to live with COPD not just through breathing exercises or avoiding smoke, but in the quiet habits that shape your days. Dr. Donald Mahler, in his 2014 book on COPD management, wrote, "Nutrition and movement are the scaffolding of a stronger life, even when breath is short." You feel that truth in your bones, in the way your body responds when you fuel it well, when you move it with care. This isn't just about surviving. It's about building a life that hums with resilience. You started choosing foods that don't tax your lungs. Light proteins, vegetables, nothing too heavy that makes breathing feel like climbing a hill. You sip water throughout the day, noticing how it keeps the mucus in your chest from turning stubborn. In the 1980s, researchers found that malnourished COPD patients had worse outcomes, a fact that stuck with you. You're no chef, but you're experimenting grilled fish, steamed greens, a smoothie that tastes like summer. There's an odd detail from that decade. Some patients swore that spicy foods in moderation clear their airways, like a small fire burning through the fog. You tried a pinch of chili yesterday, and whether it helped or not, it woke you up, made you smile. Movement is your other ally. You're not running marathons, but you're walking 10 minutes around the block, then 15, each step a conversation with your body. Dr. Richard Zuwalik's 2007 study showed that even gentle exercise, like Tai Chi or chair yoga, boosts lung function and mood. You've tried stretching in the morning, feeling your chest open, your shoulders relax. Scholars still debate whether exercise truly repairs lungs or just strengthens the muscles around them. But you don't care about the semantics. You feel the difference, less fatigue, more control. You're not just moving, you're claiming ground. Your days have a rhythm now, a structure built on small, intentional habits. You sleep with an extra pillow to ease your breathing, a trick you read about in a 1990s medical journal. You avoid rushing, giving yourself time to rest between tasks. You even started journaling, scribbling thoughts about your progress, your fears, your wins. It's a habit that grounds you, like planting seeds for a future you can see. The history of COPD care is full of these small shifts. By the early 2000s, doctors began emphasizing self-management, urging patients to take the reins. You're doing that now, not because you have to, but because you want to. You step outside, feel the grass under your feet, and take a slow breath. The air isn't perfect, but it's enough, and you're learning to make it work. You're not just managing COPD. You're crafting a life around it, one choice at a time. Your vision is clear. Not a cure, but a way to live fully, to savor the taste of an orange, the stretch of a morning walk. You're stronger than you thought, and that strength isn't just in your lungs. It's in the habits you're building, the life you're choosing to lead. You're standing at the edge of your porch, the evening air soft against your skin, carrying the faint scent of jasmine from a neighbor's garden. The world feels alive, and so do you, despite the weight in your chest, the quiet reminder of COPD. This journey, through awareness, clarity, discipline, and adaptation, has brought you here to a moment where every breath feels like a choice, a small act of defiance. Dr. Gerard Kreiner, in his 2018 work on COPD resilience, wrote, "The patient who embraces their condition, who builds a life around it, finds not just survival but meaning." You feel that meaning now, in the way you've learned to listen to your body, to honor its limits while pushing for more. You think about the history of this fight, how far we've come since the 1800s when doctors like Laennec first described emphysema with crude stethoscopes, hearing the crackle of damaged lungs. There's a strange detail from the 1990s. Some COPD patients found solace in singing, their voices strengthening their breath control in ways medicine couldn't explain. You tried humming a tune, maybe an old song from your youth, and felt your lungs stretch, your spirit lift. Scholars still debate whether such practices truly improve lung function or simply boost morale, but you know the truth. It's both. Every note you hum, every step you take, is a thread in the tapestry of your resilience. You've built habits that anchor you, eating well, moving gently, breathing with purpose. You face the fog of COPD, not with fear but with a quiet strength, a vision of a life that's still yours to shape. You picture your lungs, scarred but steadfast, like an old tree weathered by storms but still standing. Dr. Lyndon Nissy, in a 2020 study, said, "The heart of COPD care is the patient's will to live fully. That will is yours, burning steady, guiding you through each day. You're not just adapting, you're thriving, finding joy in the small things, the warmth of a mug, the rhythm of a walk, the laughter of a loved one. As the sun dips below the horizon, you take a slow, deep breath, feeling the air fill you, imperfect but enough. Your journey isn't about erasing COPD. It's about living with it fiercely, fully. You've learned to dance with your limits, to find strength in vulnerability. The world stretches out before you, vast and possible, and you step forward, heart open, breath steady. This is your life, your story, and you're writing it with every choice, every moment. Let each breath carry you, not just through today, but toward a future where you shine, unbroken, alive.